Hello and welcome to me and Artemis, talking to you guys all about character sheets, pre-play and what you'll find at workshops when you arrive at Industry before the game starts. Without me having the icy comedy prowess of my Merrolyn colleagues, Arti and I are here to talk to you out of character about out of character stuff. If videos aren't so much for you, there are also links below in the comments section for a transcript of this video and also a how-to on reading your character sheet for you to refer back to. Gateway Events has designed the LARP Merrolyn, Hecatic Academy for the Gifted, to be played with or without pre-gaming. If you decide to turn up to the LARP with no prior preparation other than just reading your character sheet, that's completely fine. You might not have the time, energy, or the desire to play before the game, and not all LARPing cultures have this element either. There are a series of briefings and workshops on the first day that will encourage character and relationship creations, as well as supplying all of the information required to take part in the LARP. So if pre-gaming isn't for you, then that's totally cool. Pre-gaming is the term for spending time creating character connections for your character that you will use in the game, perhaps even playing a little bit as your character all before arriving at the LARP site. Pre-gaming can be done to different levels, with some players connecting with just one or two others through private messaging and planning simple familial or friendship connections for their characters, whereas other players may come together on a chat server before the game to act out scenes via text and telling stories that may be referred to once at the game. But before we talk about building relationships and how to pre-game, let's look at how to read your character sheet and start creating your character from it. Those will be released in the next couple of weeks, sort of mid-June time, for those who've signed up so far. So here's how to prepare for when you get them. Your character sheet will look something like this, and at the top you will see the house, year, elective and species that you've been allocated. There will also be your character's name. Get in touch via the Gateway email address if you have any questions or changes about your character's name. The bulk of the character sheet is your character's backstory, worldview, and your personality. These are there to give you a start as to where your character has come from and how they might act in the game. Whilst these sections will be fairly comprehensive, they're deliberately written in a way to be interpreted by you, the player, to fit with your game style and played in a way that suits you. The sections that read your nice side and your not so nice side are there to give you more opportunities to play on both the light and dark sides of the coin. You can choose to incorporate both sections into your character's personality, only choose one of them, depending on how light or dark you'd like to play the character, or combine different elements of each to create a complex or morally torn character. These paragraphs are intentionally polar opposites of each other in order to help you see the ends of the spectrum of your character, so that you can choose where on the spectrum you'll choose to play. The last part of your character sheet is about what motivates you and things to consider. These are helpful suggestions or thinking points that you can use to inform your character choices before the game, or things for you to explore during. They are not mandatory things for you to play on, and you can absolutely choose to have other dilemmas for your character to face based on how you've interpreted your sheet. They're included with the intention to make you think about your character more deeply and potentially think about how they will act or think about certain issues within the game. Something worth mentioning when reading your character sheet is the difference between in and out of game mechanics, and how the character differs from the player of that character. For example, if your character is written to be a prankster who doesn't care about the consequences of their actions, just like Arti here, that is a trait to inform your character's personality. The playing of pranks without consequences in the LARP will still need to be treated with the same respect for opposing player as in any LARP, so that the game remains fun and in character and doesn't affect players instead of the characters they're portraying. Pranking someone in game can be loads of fun, obviously, but only if the player of the character you're pranking is having fun too. Another example would be that if you're wanting to play a character who is shy or a loner, that's great, but think of how to play that whilst also being very involved and actively playing with other characters and plot, as you want the character to be lonely, not you, the player. There will be online spaces for building your own character connections before the game if you wish to. Having some connections before the game starts may help you feel more immersed in the Academy setting, especially if the character you're playing has been at the Academy for a year or two already. First years can ask for specific connections from other first year players, so that once the game begins they know, for example, who's looking for adventures after hours and who's looking to set up the homework club. Important note! Please do not start making any pre-game connections before you have your official character sheets and before the official relations group goes up. Once you have them, you'll be able to make far more informed choices and be able to reach out to players who actually fit with your character in-game. There will be 2 main spaces available for finding connections for players of Merrolyn. There will be a Facebook group set up where people can add information about their characters or the kind of play that they would like. There will also be a Discord channel where people can create chat spaces to discuss plans for the game or to create blackbox scenes and experiences. Blackbox is the name given to the online virtual scenes that people play in character that exist somewhere in the timeline of the game, but not inside it. It can be a scene set a month before school starts with a couple of friends meeting up for lunch, or it can be a duel between 2 characters at the end of term party last year, or anything you want it to be. Please do remember that not all players will be engaging in pre-game activities, so you should, where possible, make plans that others are able to join in. Obviously, if you're wanting just one person to play a sibling character, this will include only one other player. However, if you're planning on an after-hours study group investigating the mysterious goings-on in the Dark Gardens, try and keep this open to others joining once the game starts. It will be more fun for you and the others, and will keep to Gateway Events' inclusive playstyle. It's also advisable to make scenes that don't affect the entire plot of certain characters that others aren't able to get involved in because they weren't present at a black box. Inclusivity is far more fun. It's best to make the scenes accessible for others to join in on, or include others by talking about, "Do you remember that time when?" in-game, so that they can choose whether to include themselves in character with an, "Oh yeah, I remember that," or "No, I wasn't there for that." You're welcome to chat in private messages or calls as well, if they're more accessible for you. Once character sheets have been released, and there's been a little time for people to hype and potentially reach out to other players for some connections and excitement, the crew for Merrolyn will be opening up some guided black boxes for those who are interested to get involved in. They'll be open to whoever wants to join them and will give people the opportunity to play with some other characters before the game that they might not have instinctively reached out to via their character sheet info. It's a great way to meet other characters I see, and to go on some small magical adventures or explore the school grounds virtually before the game starts. It's also good for you to have some relations outside of your character's social circle that you'll have met as well, so that you have some other relations to play off of in the game. Some characters will have attended the Academy for 1 or 2 years already when the LARP begins at the start of a new school year. There will be time and space in the workshop and briefing schedule to explore the potential classmates, housemates, friends and enemies that your character has amassed over their time there. If you're playing a first year, getting to meet your fellow players outside of game time and planning a vague idea of what you would like to play on in the LARP ensures that you can jump right in at time in and feel ready to make the most out of the game. There will be time during the workshops as well designed to allow communication between players about what their character is like and what kind of play each player wishes for. The practical workshop for relationship building will provide semi-structured activities for players to engage with and explore their character. There will be time to make connections, see who's playing what type of characters, and talk about potential play. During the briefings and workshops, there will be time dedicated to learning and practicing game mechanics. These are gestures and courtesies used throughout the game to ensure safety, practicality, and fun. There is information provided on these aspects before the game on the website. But because not all players will be expected to read all of these ahead of time, and because it's good to practice these important aspects of the game, there will be a workshop focusing on each of the in-game mechanics. We have a workshop especially for magic casting at Merrolyn as well. The basics of magic, how to actually cast spells, and potions will all be discussed, plus there'll be time to practice casting spells at one another. As with all of the workshops, everything is opt-in, though it is encouraged to take part in spell casting before the game, so that once the LARP starts, you feel as comfortable as possible playing with all types of magic. Thanks for listening to me ramble in my South London drawl for a while. The master I'll be portraying in-game doesn't really lend themselves very well to being super duper respectful, so I didn't fancy going in character for this video like the others may have done. Hopefully the pink hair and the fact I had a friend dragon help me out was fun enough to get you through it. If you have any questions about any of that or about anything on this subject that wasn't touched upon in this video, please comment below or get in touch via email to Gateway Events, and we'll endeavour to get answers and conversations flowing about it all. I'm buzzing to be part of this game, the writing team and the crew, and especially to meet all of you. Stay magic and stay kind. You know, wave.